The LG OLED changed gaming for me. I've been using it for the past 3 years as my daily driver panel, and whether it's the true blacks, the MacBook-like glossy screen, or that 1 millisecond ultra low latency response time, making it the lowest latency on the market, all of these things, they work perfectly together to create such an unbelievable image. And today I want to discuss why you should seriously consider one as your next panel. Inky blacks. It's something you hear thrown around a lot in the OLED world, but it can really not be overstated. These true blacks on the OLED are really a game changer. I'm somebody who really enjoys stealth games like Splinter Cell. Booting these games up on the OLED was such a treat. It's one of the main reasons why it's such a revolutionary panel, because even old games look brand new on this. It's like going from a CRT to a LCD TV. The quality of the pixels and the color reproduction mixed with the true blacks gives some jarring contrasts in dark scenes. Like you can be fully in a shadow and then there can be a bright light on one side of the screen, and they can both share the screen real estate, and it's just so beautiful to look at. This thing can really breathe new life into old games. It's really a treat to boot up all your old classics and all of your favorites throughout the years on this new screen. It feels like an entirely new experience on this screen. You can get these anywhere from 42 all the way up to 83 inches. There are other brands obviously that have the 32 and the 27s now, but just recently in 2025 they're coming out with the glossy, which is what I would recommend. Ideally I would stick with the LG OLED though. I would get the 42 or the 48 inch because in my opinion they basically have the cutting edge in technology. They pioneered it for the most part, so they know exactly what they're doing with the software and firmware. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. The screens are just way too big, even at 42, which is the smallest one, but honestly, you really do get used to it, and even for the competitive games like CS2 and stuff like that, and shooting games, FPSs and whatnot, if you sit the right distance away, it's honestly a seamless transition from a 27-inch. It feels so natural, and I much more prefer the 48-inch I have now. It just kind of magnifies the targets in a sense. You have such clarity even when you're close up to it because the PPI is so dense. There's really not much of a downside as long as you have the space to accommodate the bigger screens. If you're in a tighter space, I would definitely look at the 27 or the 32, but definitely if you have the space to accommodate at least a 42-inch, I would definitely get that and a nice wider depth desk, and you'll have no problems. It's really a seamless transition. Touching again on replaying classic games, I've recently started my 3rd or 4th playthrough of GTA 4, and it's been an absolute treat on the OLED. I believe I played it one other time on the OLED about 2 years ago when I first got it, but playing it again, it's a must every couple of years, and on the OLED it's completely another level. The immersion is insane. You really feel like you're in the games with the size of this panel and the smooth motion, and just everything together just works in harmony to create the best picture ever for all your games, new or old. So one of the main reasons why OLED is in a league of its own and an entirely different category is the fact that every single pixel is self-lit. And what that means, there's two special things about that. The first is the fact that it can completely turn off, which means you can get a true black, and that's where the inky blacks come from. And the second thing is the fact that you can have a dark scene and a light scene on the same screen. So you can have a pixel literally shut off and a completely bright white one right beside it. And the contrast between that when you're looking at it, especially on a moving scene like a video game or a movie, is jaw-dropping. The quality is next level. You really need to experience it in real life to know exactly what I'm trying to convey. So as much good that can be said about OLED technology and how great it is, there are some trade-offs, unfortunately. Nothing is perfect, as much as I wish it could be. And the main thing that I would bring up as a concern would be its longevity. It can go for, I would say, 5 to 7, 8 years. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I know some people will have been pushing them from the first generation, but the pixels do degrade over time, and they don't really show themselves in the sense of the entire panel dimming, but there will be some dead pixels entirely, actually. And I personally experienced this myself right over 2 years of ownership. I'm probably getting close to 4 now with this C1, but right before my 2 years was up, I had extended warranty with Costco, and I was able to get the panel swapped with LG themselves. They had approved technicians come out and do an entire panel swap with a brand new one. And now I had about 3,000 hours when it got swapped, and I probably had a couple clusters of around 20-ish pixels at the top of the display. Now I'm around 1,000 hours on this second panel here, and I'm starting to see 1 or 2 pop up and come back to life. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. It's a thing, but I think it has something to do with some sort of seal around it. It's new technology, right? But it is really unfortunate that that's a thing, and in my opinion, it's not excusable. They should have that fixed, because I feel like it would last a lot longer if it didn't have that sort of defect. But it is what it is. There's obviously trade-offs in all technology, but the picture quality it's almost worth it, even knowing that it has that. I personally knew, and I still went with it. So it just goes to show how great the quality of this screen is, and it's worth these pretty major downfalls of such technology. But they are getting a lot better, I believe, with the newer C4s and C5s that just came out. So we're just gotta wait and see of the longevity of those. But all in all, I'd say it's a pretty good bet, especially with the quality upgrade. It's just such a huge leap. The display is what you're looking at when you're playing the games, right? So no matter if you have the craziest hardware, if your screen isn't up to par, then you can't really enjoy those all those frames and graphics qualities that you got set up. You can't really enjoy that too much without a good display, and OLED just takes it to a completely another level. So these are the settings that I run for optimal gaming picture. You want to have your game optimizer on first things first. You want to put that on, and then for the C1 you want to have your black stabilizer and white both at 10. Game genre standard. I personally don't run VRR or FreeSync on my PC, so I turn those off, and I put boost mode on. Then once that's done, you want to go to picture, game optimizer again, and then I'll go through all settings here. Advanced brightness 100, 85, and then This one's a port in gamma. Black level auto. 55 color depth. And then for the white balance, you want warm 50, 2 points, and high. For clarity, you want it at 0 so there's no sharpening. And then that's basically it. When you go to watch a movie, you want to have all those same settings, but you want to actually put it in filmmaker mode. It brightens things up and gives things a different bit of a more vibrant color and more true to what the artist actually and director intended for it to look like. But yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. Let me know if you guys have any more questions or anything like that. I'll try my best to answer them all for you. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.